Judge Lyman, did you not see the fake subpoena? Or hasn't that been brought to your attention? The accusations had to come with evidence. And so someone who says that she was essayed and has not brought any evidence to that essay till now, and you are still allowing the pandering and the ridiculousness and the joke that is happening there, Judge Lyman, I am questioning your judgment. Okay guys, how are we doing today? Welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing? My name is Chinyere of Juliet Style Glam. It's your first time here with me. Thank you so much, excuse me, for being here. And if you're already if you're already subscribed to this wonderful channel, thank you so much for being here. And if this is your first time here with us, you are absolutely welcome. How are you all doing? Right, so it's crazy hot today. Unbelievable. Anyway, so in my last video, I did talk about coming out to you guys with an update on the Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds case. Now, I also expressed my reasons why I chose not to pursue what has been going on, and that those who are doing it are doing a fantastic job. Now, my grouse today is with Judge Lyman. You see, I am this person that I believe in benefit of doubt. I believe in giving someone a benefit of doubt. I believe in giving someone a long rope, until you do yourself in. And if you have been on this channel, if you have followed me when this case started, it was something I said from the jump that we're going to watch Judge Lyman and we're going to see what he was going to do and why what he was, how he was going to play. You see, Judge Lyman has so much against him. The fact that his brother happens to be a Hollywood exec, so he's quite close to, I need my microphone to be quite close to me because so he's close to the seat of power. And a lot of people from the jump actually did say that that Judge Lyman was not compromised. A lot of people said, I know that it wasn't going to happen. And I was amongst the people who said, well, let's give him a trial, let's see just a second. You are the one that made it possible that court, is a laughing stock. Judge Lyman, you. And I want to start from, I want us to take this from the top, okay? Now, let's start. Now, up until a couple of weeks ago, first of all, the journalist came out and said that Justin Baldoni was present for the deposition. It was a surprise. It was this and that and that and the third. Whereas that was not true because it's a deposition. Justin Baldoni has a right to be present for his deposition. There was nothing that was supposed to be a surprise. It was not supposed to be anything out of the ordinary. But you see, I also realize, or I've been able to understand, or I'm understanding that Blake Lively and her husband, they want to make us understand that they have enough money to go around. And so buying off the journals is primordial. So again, I'm going to put New York Times in this. So do you now understand that the New York Times carrying a story that is untrue was no coincidence? This was, again, premeditated. I said it in the beginning. My lights, do not mess me up right now. I said it in the beginning in that video. If you haven't seen, I'm going to put the link here. I said it from the get-go that this was all premeditated. If the People's magazine is going to take the same headlines, and all the other magazines, Variety and Co, are taking all the same headlines of Justin Baldoni being her nemesis or whatever and whatever, and no one is saying, no one is reporting anything to the contrary. None of them. So you see that the New York Times is complicit. And this was supposed to be a malicious act, because for something and for some reason, I think that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been able to convince themselves that they are on the right path. And one of the ways for them that they have been and so far have continued on this path is by going through the journals first. None of these journals, none of them have bothered for 1 second. None of them, not the New York Times, not People, not any of these magazines have bothered for 1 minute and found out from Justin Baldoni and interviewed Justin Baldoni and demanded his elements of what happened on that. None of them. And I dare say, and this is for you content creators, we are doing a fantastic job. And for those who are following this case, fantastically. Content creators are doing more research than the journals and journalists. That was why Morgan Three-Way could actually write the crap she wrote in the New York Times. Yes. Content creators are doing your jobs. Why is it no surprise that most people would rather go to content creators for interviews? They are doing your jobs. Shame on you all. Shame on you all. Because what was journalism before now? Journalism was investigative, was getting the truth. None of you have gone after the truth doggedly. I remember in the days of Christina Amanpour. I remember the days of, I think it was Steve Madden. I can't remember his name. He was on CNN. I remember those days. These people wore the armor and went there. They did the research. I remember those days. But now somebody just gives you a donation. It's a bribe. It's not a donation. It's a bribe. They give you a bribe. Where has that gone to? Where is your integrity? It's all gone. New York Times, all of you, it's all gone. None of them, none is going after the truth anymore. They are all going after what sells and who's, willing to pay the highest bidder. I continue. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are intimidating and bullying creators. And this is very, very obvious to see. So basically, they are stopping creators from being able to actually throw out content. And you see, why is this? Why did she have to resort to this? Why do they have to resort to this? You see, the propaganda they planned, the PR campaign that they planned to work on, it's not working again. Again, I'm going to say content creators are doing the investigative job that they should have been doing. Usually, everything is usually buried under PR campaigns. Now, it's impossible for them. They can't. The PR campaigns, the machine is not working anymore because, again, we are all savvy. Content creators have become savvy. They know when the PR machines are at work. So there is no point to it because they have tried for a while from the beginning of this to bury this story and bury even the people who are supposed to be diehard supporters of Blake Lively and her husband. They have done their best. The thing about it is that they can't, their voices can't drown with all their number of followers. The voices can't be drowned. And you see, what you have to understand is that everybody who is interested in this case is not interested in we are interested in the truth, what we need to know. Even despite the fact that many of us, I inclusive, is very aware that Justin Baldoni did not touch you, did not do anything. Third, this case has now gone from essay. Remember, the headline said it was essay. It started with essay at the New York Times. That is how it started. And now that case has been thrown out. Right? That case is out the window. And we are not essaying anymore. Now we are going after it's a sham. Why? It's simple, because there is no evidence to essay. And this is where I will now drag Judge Liman to filth. Judge Liman, you're a judge sitting at the courts. You are the one who is at the helm of affairs. You are the one who this case was brought to. You have sat down and allowed the rubbishing of this court from the get-go. Again, I am one of those people that said, I will give you benefit of the doubt. I will give you benefit of doubt and prove what everyone was saying wrong. You see, Judge Liman, the problem is that we have your pictures, we have your photo, we have everything that is linked to you. And so your name is going to be ringing for a long time, So basically what you were just doing from the beginning was, okay, pacify this person here and pacify the other person over there, but pacify the one who you need to pacify more. That's what you've been doing, Judge Liman. So the rubbishing of this court docket is you. You started it. Because help me explain as a judge that a case of this nature, of this sensitivity was brought to you. And then you never for one day asked and never for one time demanded and said, oh, but this was about, this is supposed to be sexual assault. And it's not sexual assault. And so at what point, Judge Liman, have you now brought back the New York Times into this? Because you made Justin Baldoni, you threw out the case against the New York Times. Justin Baldoni put there. And so if the case is no longer about essay, then the New York Times should be brought back to the docket, because that was what it started with. It started with that. So again, that was defamatory. That was malicious. There was no essay, because that case is no longer on the docket. You will agree with me, Judge Liman. And I think this case, between you and I and every other creator out there, it's not difficult to see. It's not difficult to read in between the lines what's going on, Judge Liman. You are a right-thinking human being. You've got a brain. You've got all those things. Everything is intact. Because, if not, you will not be a judge. And so I'm looking at you and I'm like, okay, at what point are you thinking at this point? At what point do you now realize that, okay, this has gone far enough? But no, it's no longer about essay. The New York Times is still working free. Justin Baldoni is being owed $400 million from them, right? But you have not brought the New York Times back. So that story by the New York Times was false. Judge Liman, you have shown that you're crooked. You have shown that you're biased. You have shown that you can't be trusted. And you see, the thing about it is, like I said, your name is on the mouth of every content creator out there. And it's so bad because I listened to Perez Hilton, and he gave you a piece of his mind. He gave you a piece of his mind. And he is representing himself because he cannot afford to get one. But he said, I will try my best. And he called you out on your BS. You may not like it, but he did call you out on your BS because it's glaring. We are here. We can access these documents. We can see them. Next one. Now, again, you allowed her make the fool of a court. And then we're getting to now find out today. I'm finding out today that you actually gave a ruling to Perez Hilton about his opinion of you. And there's a question I'm asking because, again, one thing I know, if I am being followed by a psychiatrist, a sociologist, a lawyer, or a doctor, a teacher, I, as the recipient of that service, reserve the right to say I reserve that right to call you out on your BS and say you are doing a shitty job. I am not interested. I reserve that right. Any profession. It's just like going to a store. Difference is we're not paying you money, but that's the difference. Okay? And so Perez Hilton voicing his opinion and saying, well, this is I don't trust you. He has a right to do that. He's very, very within his right to do that. And it's for you to understand that you're being put on blast, Judge Liman. You are on blast at this point. And you're still, charging him for contempt of court. You are charging him for contempt of court for doing what exactly? What did he do wrong? Right? What did he do wrong? He called you out on your BS. That's all he did. My light is, is it better? No. I have to adjust the lights. A second, people. Just give me a second. Okay. Yeah, we've got lights. Okay, so as I was saying, so he has a right to call you out on your BS. It's standard. I get a right to call out. I mean, it's just what it is. It's normal. It's not an insult. It's just exactly what we are seeing. We are actually seeing the BS play out in real time, Judge Liman. It's not like, no one is a kid here, right? No one is a kid here. We're all adults. We're all fathers, mothers, grandfathers. We all are those things. So when you see a grown man and you're telling him things like, you don't have a right to out me, that's a little bit funny. That's a little bit, high-handed, don't you think? And it's not your place. You're a judge. Stick to being a judge. Because again, like I said, Perez Hilton has had to call you out on your BS. And I fully support him on that. Okay. And then we have also Blake Lively subpoenaing content creators to the extent of doxing them. Now, this is someone during discovery, was very adamant about the protection of her children, the protection of this and of that and that. And her lawyers did not fail to accord the same confidentiality to content creators. Again, that content creators are the ones doing the research and finding out the lawyers are actually lying to the judge. They are actually doxing, right? Their homes, their kids, everything. That's Judge Liman. We did not hear any form of contempt for that. We did not hear any form of punishment. There were nothing. These are people's lives that we're talking about here. Judge Liman, you did nothing. So again, pardon us that we can actually see the direction you're leaning, because it's so clear that we can see the direction that you're leaning towards. The direction you're leaning is very, 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 very one-sided. It's going far, 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 far to the left. Too far out. Yes, the direction you're leaning is very far to the left. So pardon us if we can see that, and we're calling you out on that. Okay? Now, again, Blake Lively has been on a fishing expedition since day one. The thing about it is that she is fucked, and she doesn't know how to get out of it, because the time she had, the time she could have, she didn't use it. The time she could have done something, she didn't use it. And so she's on a fishing expedition. Judge Liman, I am not a lawyer, but I can see BS, and when I see it, I know BS when I smell it. This is your job. This is happening in your docket, and you are doing nothing, absolutely nothing about it. This is all happening in your docket. You're the one handling this. And then color me flummoxed, color me ridiculously surprised, color me that you now come out and decide that it is the Justin Baldoni team that is making a fool of the court. Are you serious, Judge Liman? Really? Really? So the whole foolery, the whole tomfoolery that has been going on in your courts by Blake Lively and and Hollywood colonizer, you didn't see it, you didn't notice it. But you noticed that Wayfarere, Justin Baldoni are all, making a fool of your court in all these months that we've been on this back and forth. Judge Liman, really? That from the get-go, we could all smell the BS, and you still did nothing? And you still allowed it to fly? Judge Liman, like I said, we all see how you're leaning. We all see where you're leaning, and you're leaning far, far, far. Because Judge Liman, there are so many illegalities. I'm mixing. There's a French word that has a similar. There's a French word that has in French is inégalité. So I was like illegal. I wasn't sure which one it was. So there are so many illegalities that, Plantation Khaleesi, Ku Klux Khaleesi, has actually carried out with her husband. Judge Liman, did you not see the fake subpoena? Or hasn't that been brought to your attention? That fake subpoena? Judge Liman, that fake subpoena that was carried out, that was done, you haven't seen that, Judge Liman? Again, I say this with a smile, because again, I said you're leaning far, 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 far to the left, and we want to be on the right, on the side of truth and justice. And you see, when you look at the sign of the justice sign, it's very straight. But you, Judge Liman, your side of justice is tilted now. We've seen that. It's noticeable, Judge Liman. Now, and why I said this is because, we just finished the PDD case, and it was as clear-cut as the judge could make it, even though I still do not agree with a lot of things that happened in that courtroom. But it was just it. He was accused, and he was found guilty or not guilty. That's it. The accusations had to come with evidence. And so someone who says that she was essayed and has not brought any evidence to that essay till now, and you are still allowing the pandering and the ridiculousness and the joke that is happening there, Judge Liman, I am questioning your judgment as a judge. Next one. She goes on again. I mean, it's a big fat joke. She now went again, Blake Lively, Ku Klux Khaleesi, decides, okay, I'm going to keep on amending my lawsuits every 48 hours. Seriously? This is as unserious as they come. Judge Liman, what are you doing? You, Judge Liman, let me repeat that. You are the one who's made a joke out of the courts. You are the one who has allowed this court to be made fun of. Go read the headlines. I know, yes, as a judge who is presiding over a case, I know that you cannot go on social media. Blah, blah. I know that. But maybe, go out there and get a feel of what it's looking like out there. You are on everybody's lips. The ridiculousness is being sounded far and wide. We even go further. That, again, we are also hearing that they are subpoenaing Latino content creators. Judge Liman, I have never, ever, ever prayed for such a thing in my life, but maybe because of you, I will. That after this, may you never, ever, I will not wish you to be the judge of any case whatsoever. Because, again, what is that? What is that? Okay. Now, Paris Hilton, once again, is being picked on by Judge Liman because he's exercising his First Amendment rights. Again, make it make sense, Judge Liman. Make it make sense. Yeah? Judge Liman. So Paris Hilton and he can't exercise his First Amendment rights. Is that what you're saying, Judge Liman? You're saying that he doesn't have a right to speak about what affects him? You have to understand, Judge Liman, that this man has been threatened. His children have been put in danger. And now he's expressing his First Amendment rights, and then it's not a good look for you, right? All I gotta say is this. Judge Liman, get your act together. That's all I gotta say. Get your act together. Because again, let me say this again. You are so tilted now. You are so tilted. It's sad. You're so tilted. We see what's happening. We can see through it. You're so tilted that many, many real victims will never, ever come forward. Real victims will never, ever come forward. Real victims of SA, real victims of SH, real victims of DV will never, ever come forward if the people who are coming against them are powerful enough. Because again, we, the people, are David, while Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, are Goliaths. But both of you or three of you will have made it impossible for real victims to ever, ever speak the truth. Speak out and say enough. They will keep on going away. The Harvey Weinsteins, the Jeffrey Epsteins, and that orange man sitting over there, they will keep getting away with it because of people like you. If you are still here up until this moment and you're on this channel and you have listened to me babble and blah, 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 blah all till now, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to that channel. I need your subscription to be able to grow, and it encourages me as well. All right? And I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. Bye.